Hey y'all, just before the video starts, I wanted to jump in here and just talk to you guys for a second. I know that I have not been posting videos on a regular basis, and I don't have very many subscribers. Most of them are friends and family, and they've kind of reached out to me and said, hey man, what's up? I know there's some new subscribers that have shown some interest in what I'm doing, and to you guys, I truly appreciate it. My bad for not putting up videos on a more regular basis, but I really put my heart and soul into these videos, and I want to make them as good as I possibly can. I don't have a huge amount of resources to be able to progress these builds along the way I want to, or this build, the only one I've been showing you. I've got some other things in the works. You know, it just takes a lot. You know, other YouTubers have said it, you know, full-time job, the amount of time it takes to edit these videos, produce them. I just don't want to put out a video unless it's the absolute best video I can do. So with that, just be patient. Videos are going to come. I have very, very high expectations for this channel, things I want to do, projects I want to get involved with. You know, it takes time, and I'm doing the best I can. But for right now, today, I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, a safe and Merry Christmas, and a very Happy New Year. Like I said, most of my subscribers are friends and family, people I know personally, and to you guys, I'm so thankful that you guys tune in and you're paying attention and you're watching what's going on. It means the world to me. And to you other people that have just shown interest in what I'm doing, like, very, very humbling. I've had some amazing comments on some of my videos, and it really means the world to me. So stay tuned, enjoy the time with your family. But for right now, let's get back into the video, because last I checked, these brake lines aren't going to install themselves. Welcome back. We are going to do something that I've kind of not been looking forward to, but it needs done. We are going to install the radiator support mounts, and we are going to plumb up the front brakes. First thing I'm going to do is finish putting the mounts on the radiator core support, just so that way that part is locked down. I haven't tightened everything on the front end yet. I still have to shim it and do all that good jazz, but I put it on here because when I do the front brakes, I just want to make sure that where I do put the front brake lines, I'm not interfering with the inner fender wells. So that's why I put that on first. Yeah, this is not going to be fun. I'll show you what I've done so far. I did this off camera. I just started with these two front brake lines. I got this front brake line kit from Classic Performance Products, CPP, which is the same place I got the master cylinder, the booster, all the suspension, everything. And I just kind of put those in because it did not come with great instructions. I've got some other fittings and stuff here, so this is going to be something I'm going to have to figure out. Basically, they're going to plumb down. One goes to the rear. They're both going to come across this front cross member. One's going to go back to the rear inside of the passenger side frame rail, and the other two are going to go out to the left and right front brakes. I do have something else I'm going to mount in here. I have a line lock, aka roll control, that I'm going to plumb in here just for something fun. I'm going to have to modify this line right here. This is the one that goes to the front brakes. I'm going to have to plumb this to the line lock, and then out of the line lock I can plumb back down to the T where it splits off and goes to the left and right front. So I have to figure all that out. I have a flaring kit that I got from O'Reilly's and a tube bender. I've got plenty of extra 3/16 inch steel brake line. I've actually got the nickel stuff that's coated. That stuff bends pretty easy. That's what I'll use to go to the back brakes. I'm not going to plumb the back brakes today. I'm just going to get it around into the frame rail so it's ready to go back to the back brakes. Get this cab mount on here, and we'll go from there. I am going to take all this stuff out of here because I plan on reusing some of it. This is my cooling fan relay. It senses temperature and tells the fan when to turn on and off. These are relays for the front headlights, little fuse block. I'm going to take all that off because a lot of that stuff is reusable. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm probably going to relocate it somewhere else. I'm going to get rid of this cheapy coolant overflow bottle because I do not need it, and if I do need one, I'll get something different, and it's definitely not going to mount right there. So stay tuned. I'm going to get some tools and put some thought into how I'm going to do this, and we're going to get it done. First things first, I have to get this radiator core support mounted down to the frame. I have a kit from LMC Truck. It's pretty standard. You can get them from Brothers Trucks also, and it comes with everything you need, just like factory. It's got washers, plates, bushings, big carriage bolts, everything I need to get this thing locked down to where it's not going to go anywhere. And it's got the lock nuts. Can't really see that, but they're kind of crimped. They're like, imagine you put this in a vise and kind of oblonged it just slightly, just enough to where it will still thread on and not booger up the threads in a carriage bolt, but it's kind of pressed on there. It's not going to come off. That's kind of what it looks like to me. But yeah, so I have to get all this stuff on there. I already got this set down and it's bolted up to the firewall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my floor jack underneath here. I'm going to jack this up just a little bit. I'm kind of going to have to feed this stuff through here, kind of goofy, but I'm going to get it all on. I spared you the time lapse of me just installing some bolts, some washers, big rubber grommet things. You don't have to watch that. You're welcome. So those are in. They're not tightened down. I will wait to do that until I have everything kind of lined up and shimmed. It looks like it's kicked off to this way a little bit. It needs to be pulled back the other way, but I'm not really ready to do that because I don't have the fenders mounted to the body. So once I get the motor in and kind of get to where I'm like fine tuning this front clip, that's when I will tighten that up. But that brings me to a valid point, a tip I have for you. Now, this has come to me from a bunch of different sources. Those of you who are really into cars have most undoubtedly heard of Roadkill. And you know, on Roadkill or Roadkill Garage or Hot Rod Garage, they have the cardboard list. And I am starting this now, even though I'm so far from being done. I want to make sure as stuff comes to my mind that I write it down, so that way when I'm nearing the end of this build and I'm getting ready to put this beast on the road, I do not forget something stupid like adding oil to the motor. That would be bad to get 2 miles down the road and have the motor lock up. Not fun for anyone. So I've just got a couple little things on there so far. I'm sure you can see things like bleed the brakes, tighten the rad support bolts, add and check and add oil, check and add trans fluid. Even though I haven't put the engine and transmission in yet, it came to my mind. I wrote it down because I know this is going to be a very important thing to check and make sure it's done before I turn the key and head out of the driveway with this thing. So just wanted to bring that up. Very important. Make sure you start the cardboard list early. Refer back to it often, add stuff to it. This list should get incredibly long, and as you do stuff and you know it's done, then you can start to cross it off. On to the brakes now. This part is as finished as it's going to be for now. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rubber lines from the caliper up to the mounts on this cross member in here. That way I have something to thread these lines into, and then I'm just going to mock this up the way it was intended without the line lock in it, just so I know where everything's kind of supposed to be, and then I will figure out a plan to change these brake lines up, at least for the front, so I can get that line lock put in there. So let's get started with doing the front brake hoses on the left and right side. All right, so this goes in with a banjo bolt, and as you can see right here, this block sticks down farther on this side than it does on that side. That is the side that you want to go up right there, so that way the hose is not being pressed down onto the caliper. Fits nice and smooth. Got my little bag of goodies here. The way these banjo bolts work is you have a couple brass washers, and one goes there, that goes on the line, that goes there, and then brake fluid comes in there, and then there's these side holes, and it comes out the side hole, goes to this cavity through the line, and actually it comes through the line, through this hole, out this hole on the end, and into the caliper. So we're going to start this on first. You can see there's a notch there, and we just by feel figure out where we're at. There we are. 7/16 inch action here. Voila! We are done. Now, this goes around through here. You can probably see that on the far edge of your screen. We have this little clip right here, and this little clip goes in there, and that holds holds it in there. Let me get a hammer. That is on there tight. So as this, can't turn it because everything's tight, but as this moves, this will do what it's supposed to do. I'll go around on the other side, leave the camera rolling, and you can see how this hose reacts here. Just here, just tickle. So you can see how this hose reacts as I turn the thing. Oh, it's such a nice brake rotor. All right, everything looks good. It's all the way over here, lock to lock. It rubs on this upper control arm just a touch. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. If I feel like this is gonna be an issue, I can take like some 3/8 brake line, about 2-inch piece, slide it down the middle, slide it over this just to give it some cushion, throw some zip ties on it, should be good to go. All right, on to the other side. Oh, don't knock it over. That wasn't cool. All right, as I attempt to get comfortable in the bay, there's these two pieces here. This one right here, these are just loosely threaded in. This is for the front brakes. This line right here, this is for the rear brakes. I've watched several YouTube videos, and some say they go outside the frame, some say they go inside the frame. I know I can manipulate these a little bit, like that's not even that tight, but I got to really find out kind of where they're going to be happy. I need to put the rest of this stuff in. So I have these two lines here. So I think this one here is for the back brakes, and it will basically fit, I think, right there, and then come up, and then I'll have to plumb my line going to the back. Yeah, this one here, I believe, this is going to connect, this is going to tee across from the front to the rear. These two little lines These are identical, and I think these go from the T on this side to the front left, and there's a union over here to the end of this line that takes this to the front right. I'm gonna try and just get this in loosely, the way it seems happiest, and then I'll go from there. I'm gonna try and get this stuff in here.
Still working on the brake line?
Yeah. Alright, so I kind of got these kind of where they're going to go. I am going to lock them down in place and at least get the bottom ones that go on the cross member locked down in place, so then I can work on, then all I have to do is take this line out right here, which comes up to the front of the master cylinder, and then I can work on where I'm going to put my line lock. Might put it right there, because that's a straight shot down. I can go in there and then I can come right back out, pick up where I left off. I can probably just move this right on over. If I cut it right there, I can probably just kind of tweak that around and get it in the side, and that'll make that pretty clean. I'm not sure, so let me lock this down first and we will go from there. So I am going to secure these brake lines to the front cross member, and the way I'm going to do that, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I am going to use cushion clamps. So these are very, very inexpensive. I got a whole bag off of Amazon for probably the same price I would have spent on an assorted blister pack of them at your local your local auto parts store, hardware store, whatever. I bought a whole bag, 20 of them in here. This will probably be enough to do the entire brake system, and I'll still have plenty left over. They're specifically 3/16 inch size, so they'll go around the brake line. They got the nice cushion clamp, and they got a big enough hole to bolt it down. I also got, off of Amazon, incredibly inexpensive, these 1/4 20. They're about a 1/2 inch long. You probably can't see them. Maybe I'll put them right there. They're a 1/2 inch long, 1/4 20. They are a female hex head and some little lock washers. Black matches the frame. You don't have to get them black. The reason I got the female Allen key head is because I didn't have these cushion clamps in front of me, and what I was worried about was if I had a hex head and this part was too close, I wouldn't be able to get a socket or a wrench on it. It would just make it more difficult. This way I can just put an Allen key on it. I've got some bits. I've got an Allen key bit on a socket that I will put in there, tighten that down with my little lock washer. It will hold it nice and tight, and I can put these wherever I want. I'm going to drill a hole on this cross member and on the frame. I'm just going to drill a hole. I do not know exactly what size drill bit you should use for 1/4 I just sized one up. I grabbed the bolt and I just found a drill bit that was about the size of the main shaft part of it, to where the threads were the only thing that were larger diameter than this drill bit. So I can mark it, drill my hole, and then I have a 1/4 tap. You can get a tap and die set. They're pretty inexpensive. You can get them about anywhere. Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, auto parts stores, anywhere. This is a Craftsman set. And so I'm going to drill my hole. I'm going to tap it. And then I'm going to put in my cushion clamp and my bolt and snug everything down. It'll hold it great. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and mark these up and get them drilled, figure out exactly where I want them, and get them locked down. Hopefully this does not become a disaster. What I did here. So we got that side there that goes to the rear, that goes over there to the right side. They come across. So they come across. You can see I got my button head in there. Everything's drilled and tapped. I did 2 on the bottom because that held that nice. But I did 3 up top. I did that one and that one right there first, but it rotated in there. So I put that 3rd one just to kind of anchor it. It's all snug, just the way I like it. So we're gonna move on to the next thing. I gotta figure out how they're coming up beside the frame rail. All right, and for good measure, so the brake line's here, they run up along the frame. Put a cushion clamp on each one, drilled and tapped the frame right there, just to hold them nice and sturdy so they're not flapping around in there. I like it. I feel like I actually know what I might be doing. Don't tell anyone. Okie dokie. All right, so I got everything tightened up. Good to go. Pay no attention to the GoPro, filming a different angle. Last piece of my front brake puzzle, concoction, whatever you want to call it, is this line lock, roll control. Lots of fun in this little aluminum and steel box right here. I have to mount this. And basically what it is these wires go to a button that'll be on my gear shift, and I'll press the brakes to the floor, hold the button down, let off the brakes. The front brakes will stay locked, and then I can do all kinds of smoky goodness with the tires out back. And then when I let off that button, then the front brakes release and off she goes. So I have to mount this to the firewall. This line right here that goes to the left and right front brakes, I'm going to bend this line around, put it in this top port, and then any one of these bottom ports I can put this line coming out of any one of these 3 bottom ports, and then I'll have to do a new line from the proportioning valve over to this. So I'm going to take this brake booster off. I'm going to leave the mounts on the firewall because I'm going to mount it right here, right kind of behind the brake booster. Down below there's nothing there. I'm not going to have a lot of wiring. I'm close to a grommet where this wire can go inside the cab. It'll keep it nice and clean. I don't have brake lines going out all over the place. It'll just be a nice clean install. So I'm going to get this off and go ahead and mount this line lock. So to mount this roll control, it uses, I'm gonna use 1/4 20 bolts, the same ones I used on the brake line, but I'm gonna use what's called a riv nut. Rivet nut, collapsible nut. These take a special tool. It's kind of like a pop rivet and a nut cert. Some people call them nut certs, or a well nut. People call them different things. But basically, you thread this on to here, and I'll put it in the hole that I drilled, and then I'll collapse this down, and it'll press into the hole that I drilled in the firewall. Try that. All right, even though these riv nuts that I put in aren't the best as far as, unbelievable, as far as, you know, how secure they could be in there, this line lock is really light. It doesn't even weigh a pound, and it is on there secure. That is not going anywhere. So now I have to basically kind of modify this line a little bit. And I might not have to cut that line at all. So I don't want to crimp the line, but if I'm gonna try and twist this, and then we'll just being a coil right there, I can, yeah, I can actually, I can clean that up, straighten that up. That can go right in there, and I can plug the other two ports, plug that one. I think I should put some Teflon tape on it. And then these wires here will just go inside when I wire that up. That's down the road. It's in, it's back together. I got the line lock hooked up. I've got all the brake lines in, going to the back. The only thing I have left to do for the brakes, besides fluid and bleed them and everything, as far as plumbing the brakes, is running a hard line all the way to the back, getting a new line, a new hose to the rear end, and then doing my lines across the rear end. So that's it. Line lock's in. I'll wire that up when I get to the wiring part, and I work on getting the shifter in. Man, what a fulfilling day. Like, I got way more done than I thought I would. The cab's mounted down on the cab mounts, like, starting to turn into something.